All right, what's going on, Laker fans? Thank you very much for tuning in. We're right before 4:20 on this Thursday afternoon, June 27th. The Lakers just selected Bronny James probably a little bit over an hour ago, and I wanted to wait a second. I wanted to kind of wait for some more information to come in. I thought Pelinka was going to talk. He did. I wasn't at the training facility today, but I grabbed something that Jovan Buha put out, and I just want to talk about it. I want to get Lakers' opinion on this. So I know kind of a random go live in the middle of the afternoon, but I think it's worth it, and I think there's a lot going on. So whether you're tuning in live or you're tuning in a little bit later, thank you for being a part of the show. I'll throw it out to Laker fans, kind of first things first. What do you think? Bronny James is officially a Los Angeles Laker. I got a couple things I want to play first before we even really get anywhere with the show. By the way, I know it's been a little bit since we've gone live, so I appreciate you guys hanging out. I want to play two videos before we even get started. Let me kind of first play the actual pick, the selection, arguably the worst kept secret in the history of the NBA of whether Bronny James was going to be a Los Angeles Laker. Let me share my screen here real quick. That's not the one. Let me share my screen here real quick. Here is on NBA. They did it on ESPN, but it was Bronny James officially being introduced as the Los Angeles Lakers pick. Take a listen.
With the 55th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Bronny James from the University of Southern California.
All right, that is
With the
official
55th
right there.
pick.
Lakers, number 55th pick, end up taking Bronny James. This has been a chatter. This has been a conversation. We spent a lot of time about it. I was talking about it this morning or this afternoon, and I'm going to get into some of my conversations I had earlier today. I got to be honest. I think I'm actually a little bit more, at least from a media perspective, I think I'm in the minority on this that, yeah, I don't really care about this. I'm not crazy about it. I don't care. I feel like it's a distraction, but I don't think everybody else feels the same way that I do. I do want to play the opening conversation. So Jovan Buha, clearly out there at the Lakers training facility. He put on his Twitter account, and I linked it in the bio here, Rob Pelinka's opening statements about Bronny James being selected with the number 55 pick, why the Lakers did it, and everything else. So let's take a quick listen to that. So you guys, if you haven't got a chance to hear it yet, this is Rob Pelinka describing why the Los Angeles Lakers selected Bronny James with a number 55 pick. And again, this is on Jovan Buha's account, so something to keep in mind. I know you guys all know Jovan. Take a quick listen to this.
Welcome, everybody. Good to see you guys on back-to-back days. I think about the Los Angeles Lakers. I think about, a franchise where basketball history just sort of unfolds and takes place. I mean, if you think back to the origins of the game of basketball and Dr. Naismith and Peach Basket and all that's emanated from the invention of the game. And you think that in the history of the NBA, there's never been a father and a son that have shared an NBA basketball court. And that feels like something that could be magical. And we know and have to respect, of course, that LeBron has a decision about his opt-out. And I'm sure he and his family and his agent will deliberate what they're going to do there. And of course, he has freedom to decide whatever's best for him and his family. But if it worked out that he was on our team next season, NBA history could be made. And NBA history should be made in a Lakers uniform. So that's just sort of globally how we feel about the draft moment. But more important than that is to talk about Bronny James.
I'll pause it right there. Reason why I'm going to pause it. What he just said right there, that more importantly, it's now let's talk about Bronny James. That's going to be a big part of my conversation as we go through the show today, because we're a minute 24 into 2 minute and 45 second opener for Rob Pelinka. And Bronny really has not been mentioned yet. And there's going to be a theme to what I think about this, and I think this is a good example. And I don't think this is, intentional or anything like that. But I think the part that we're kind of losing of whose opinion that I think is going to be interesting is Bronny James. But I'll continue with the presser. Take a listen.
As a basketball player, because this is his day, and he was the one selected with the 55th pick. Bronny is first and foremost a person of high character. And second, he is a young man that works incredibly hard. And those are the qualities we look for in drafting players and adding to our developmental core at the Lakers. He had a great draft workout with us where he displayed those qualities to me in a hour lunch that we shared in the building just to get to know each other. Became clear that he was a man of character. In terms of his work ethic, I think we've all seen that lived out too. He's not a person that has ever taken shortcuts or expected or been entitled about basketball opportunities. He's worked for everything that he's gotten, including being selected today at 55. So it's an honor for us to add him to our program. Coach Reddick is already excited about putting a development plan around him to increase his basketball skills and turn him into the player that we think can impact and help this franchise. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
All right, that's Rob Pelinka right there. So Pelinka at the Lakers training facility. I think I mentioned to you guys I was there yesterday, did not get a chance to go today. Bronny James selected, number 55 pick, and Rob Pelinka was given a little bit of the reasoning of why the Lakers got him. Here's what I'm very, very, very curious about from Laker fans. How you feel about it? Do you like it? You excited about it? Do you think it's a sideshow, a distraction? Phenomenal, one of the coolest things ever that a father and a son get to play together? Put it in the comments. I'm curious to get the pulse of Laker fans of how they feel about this. I'm curious to get the opinion of Laker fans of how they feel about this. I think one of the things that I'm definitely proud about when it comes to this channel, I think Laker fans are honest, they're real. I think we get kind of a good pulse of how Laker fans feel about certain things, whatever the case is, whatever the topic is. And again, I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts. I will say, so far, damn, is everyone selling this. Jesus Lord, everybody is selling this, and they are selling it hard. I was watching ESPN. I was watching the draft. And, it was Stephen A. It was Woj. It was Malika. It was Bob Myers. They're all, on the set doing their thing. And everyone is selling this like it's the greatest thing ever. And I understand. Listen, there is a historical factor to this. It's the first father-son pair to ever be teammates. And they're going to, obviously – or it's the first father-son duo playing in the NBA at the same time. And on top of that, they're going to be playing on the same team. And on top of that, it's going to be with the Los Angeles Lakers. That's a lot there. I get that that's never done. I get that it's never been done before. I'm going to just speak more from a Laker perspective because I could tell you in my line of work, what I do day to day, which is obviously a 3-hour and 15-minute radio show, Lakers talk, obviously part of the Lakers radio broadcast. This is great for entertainment purposes. It's great for clicks. It's great for eyeballs. It's great for all that. And I'm not going to argue any of that stuff because I think there are a lot of people that are going to be interested in this story. Let me put that to the side. I'm also a Lakers fan. I already have a headache. I already am like, oh my gosh, how much are we going to talk about this? How much is this going to take away from winning? How much is this going to take away from the conversation about being competitive, championships, competing for a championship, all that stuff? I'm not saying that you can't do both. But Bronny James has been a Laker for an hour and a half, and I already feel like, this is all anybody's going to talk about for a very long time. And what I would like the conversation around the Los Angeles Lakers to be more than anything else is watch out for the Lake Show. That squad is good. They got a really, really good head coach. Damn, do they develop players very well. Wow, their scouting is one of the best in the NBA. Man, if you look at the teams that got a shot to win a NBA championship this year, Lakers are there again. That's what I want the conversation to be. And I'm afraid it's not going to be about that. I'm afraid that the conversation is going to be about so many other things that I don't think will have the influence of whether you're winning or you're not. And again, this is coming from somebody that gets his paycheck from talking about things like this for 3+ hours a day. But I am also a Lakers fan, and I do want to see the Lakers succeed. And my biggest question that I think I'm going to have is, how much of a sideshow is this going to be? I was talking about this morning. It's kind of funny. I was getting bombarded by everybody a little bit earlier today. I mean, everybody's just giving their opinion. Travis Rogers, who I do the show with at 710 ESPN, is basically saying, like, look, it's a number 55 pick. Who gives a flying you know what? And frankly, I get where he's coming from, right? Like, I think what he's saying is, like, it's not like they're using their number 10 pick to go select Bronny James. Now, I still kind of disagree with that theory, but I understand where he's coming from. We do all the shows kind of get together in between shows. And today was, phenomenal. John Ireland is there. Michael Thompson is there. Ramona Shelburne is there. These are all people that are as embedded in the NBA as possible. And the point that I was trying to make to them, because I was telling them, I'm like, listen, I don't really care about this whole thing. It doesn't really do anything to me that Bronny James is going to be a Los Angeles Laker. I want the Lakers to win. So if you told me Bronny James is a player that's going to come help the Los Angeles Lakers win, or is really a big part of the Lakers' future, then I'm sold on that. But if it's not that, it's like, all right, what do I care? What do I care that Bronny James is getting selected at number 5 because his dad is LeBron James? And I don't want people sitting here and telling me that, this is Bronny James's day. No, it's not. It's LeBron's day. It's more attention going towards LeBron James. Then that's how I genuinely feel. You know what one of my concerns is, and I got this as one of my topics. One of my concerns is, and I talked about this a little bit earlier on the show, was I kind of feel bad for Bronny. I mean, I feel bad in the sense that, how's this dude going to walk into the NBA and walk into a game and be associated with anything other than, well, that's LeBron's dad? Well, he was selected late in the second round because that's LeBron's dad. I don't think anybody was saying, and, unfortunately for him, his first year in college basketball was not helpful for him. And some of those reasons he could do nothing about. Obviously, if we all remember, he had the cardiac arrest episode and only got to play a handful of games. He's only 19 years old. I think he was sidelined for nearly 5 months, what they said. So if this would be different if Bronny James came into the league and everybody was like, this dude's, this top 15. This guy he's one of the guys. And everybody just kind of already knew this is going to be one of the players, whether you like it or not, this guy is going to do some big things. But that's not the case with Bronny James walking in. And unfortunately, his average of 5 points a game and a couple of rebounds and a couple of assists, that is going to follow him into the league. And what I hope this young man gets an opportunity to do is gets a chance to get a real shot at the NBA and properly develop. And if it's going to take him a couple years and he gets to kind of be stashed in the G League or something along those lines, and really works on his craft and his game so he does have a legitimate shot in the NBA based on his merit, not his last name. So I think, looking at this situation today, like I said, I spent a lot of time, today kind of watching all this. I wanted to wait, once he was drafted, I'm like, well, let me hear what some people have to say, what some of the draft experts have to say, what Rob Pelinka has to say. nothing's going to change my opinion that Bronny James was selected at 55 because he was the 55th best player in the draft. We all know that. I mean, everybody knows that. And I'm okay to stand on an island on this one. I get it. This is an entertainment league, and it's here for entertainment. But I'm also a Los Angeles Laker fan and would like to see the franchise make decisions and make moves that I feel is going to put them in a position to succeed. That things happen, hopefully, in the next couple of weeks where we're looking at the Lakers and we're saying that move and this move, that just took the Lakers from being top 8 team in the Western top conference, and now they're top 4. And I don't think, for me, having Bronny James on this team really just doesn't do anything for me. It just doesn't. I don't care. It's a cool story, but I want the Lakers to get back to being the Los Angeles Lakers, and that's all I really care about. All right, let me look at some of these comments here. I do want to tell you guys this, and this is just something to keep in mind. There's going to be a lot of comments on here. Like I just looked right now; it's 120 plus or whatever the case is. If you do get if you do want me to read your comment, 100% want to read it, throw in a super chat, and I'll 100% get to it. But I'm going to try to get to these as well. Okay, this is an interesting one. People being so mad about this makes me just want to root for the kid. Let me tell you something. I'm rooting for the kid. I just spent a couple of minutes talking about I almost feel bad for the guy because he's coming into the NBA and everybody's saying, well, you're in the league just because of your pops. I'm with you. That's why it almost would have been better for him if he was drafted by another team so he can just kind of develop. But instead, he's on the most popular franchise, one of the most popular franchises in all of sports. And, obviously on top of that, his dad's on the team as well. Is he going to get that opportunity to develop? I don't have the answer to that. Let's see what else we got here. I got some people on here telling me Max Christie 10 times better. Here's the thing. I will tell you this. From a playing perspective, it's not like I believe that it's not that I believe that Bronny James is going to come in and all of a sudden start stealing minutes away from Max Christie. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't. So, okay, here's some other thing. I'm happy for him and LeBron. I will say that I think there are also a lot of people that just like the story. And that's fair too. You're entitled to your opinion. I don't care as much for it, but I think there's also a lot of people that sit back and say, hey, I'm a fan of it, and I do think it's a cool story. This is not the Lakers. This is the LeBrons. If you do look at the past couple of days, JJ Redick is obviously the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, clearly has a relationship with LeBron. LeBron got his son to be drafted at number 5. And then in a couple of days, LeBron's obviously going to get an extension as well. And I'm assuming he'll opt out and get the extension that he wants. So LeBron's certainly getting everything that he wants. Okay, here's another viewpoint. Alan, get over it. Stop complaining. Well, I mean, part of what I do is complaining. This will motivate LeBron James. So Michael Thompson had this point a little bit earlier today. Michael said that he thinks this will rejuvenate LeBron because now he's playing with his son. You can make that case. I mean, I don't know if I've ever questioned LeBron at any point of his career that he didn't have the motivation, that LeBron didn't care. I don't think – I've never associated with LeBron James that he wasn't motivated. I mean, he's almost 40 years old, and go look at that man's body. Go look at what he's done over his career. Look what he just did this past year. He's still doing it. If it adds more motivation to LeBron James, cool. Awesome. I don't know if LeBron needs any more motivation, but this is certainly going to be something different that we've never seen before. So maybe there is a positive to it, and it's tied to that. I can see that being a little bit of one way to look at it. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, that ain't happening. Lakers should be able to get LeBron at a huge discount because he's not going to leave now. Yeah, that ain't happening. Bron will get every single penny he gets. And frankly, I got to be honest with you, as somebody that's been covering the Lakers since LeBron has been here, he's worth every penny and so much more. Because Every time you go to a Los Angeles Laker game, that place is packed. Lakers are on 40-plus games a year, nationally televised. It's LeBron. And the man sells, and so does the brand. So I don't think you need to shortchange him. He's worth every penny. All right, let's see what else we got. This is interesting. Now, if this happens, okay, this better not be happening. Look, man, this is just so weird. It's uncharted territory. So I think we're all kind of trying to figure this out as we go. Eddie Westside says, such a valid point. Just wait until LeBron starts giving JJ side eye because Bronny's playing time. This is not a good thing. I don't think things are like that are going to happen. But if you would have told me a couple years ago that Bronny James is going to get drafted by the Lakers, I would tell you that's not going to happen either. So I don't believe that's going to happen. Can I tell you guys something funny? And listen, I understand that I was looking at this a little bit earlier today. So I was looking at this and I'm like, all right, what late picks have kind of gone late in the second round? And I was throwing out a scenario to Ramona, John, Travis, and Michael. And I was saying, okay, what if there's a guy that was supposed to go at number 45 and the Lakers really liked that guy? But you know what? That guy wasn't available, or the guy, they didn't feel like he was going to get to 55. So he kind of kept dropping back. And that guy at 45, now the number 50 pick is ready, and that guy's still on the table. And JJ Redick really likes this player, and Rob Pelinka really likes this player. But they're like, guys, he's of course not falling back to 55. And then 52 gets picked, and 54 gets picked, and there you are. There's a player that the Lakers think, damn, we would really like this guy. We're surprised that he's still available. We think we can develop this guy, and maybe this is another steal in the draft late in the second round. Whatever. I'm just making something up. They're going to take Bronny over that guy? Well, of course I know they're going to do it, but that was my issue, and that's the only point that I was trying to make is, what if there's a guy that these guys like? They're just not going to select him. And for those that say, who cares about second rounders, you're probably right 95% of the time. Draymond Green was a second-round pick. Manu Ginobili was a number 57 pick, further than what the Lakers had. Marc Gasol, who was drafted by the Lakers, I want to say was 49, maybe 50, but I think he was 49. Nikola Jokic, obviously, was in the 40s, somewhere along those lines. My only point is this. I'd hate that, you have the blinders on of we're only getting Bronny, and you're not paying attention to other talent, international talent, maybe players that could have gone a little bit later, or players that you thought were going to go earlier that end up falling a little bit later. That's my point. And maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe that's me being dramatic. Maybe it's just simple as, yeah, that can happen, but 95% of the time it doesn't happen. But those are some real players that went later. And I'm not telling you, again, I'm going to go back to this. I thought if you wanted to get Bronny James, you didn't have to use one of your picks, whatever the case is, awesome. But this is going to be an interesting road for Bronny. I really do believe that. It's going to be an interesting road. And how he's going to be able to ever separate himself from his dad and become his own player and become a guy that we're all talking about and saying, I like the development of this young kid rather than I like the development of Bron's son. It's going to be interesting how that all, eventually unfolds. Okay, let me think a couple here. Let me take a couple more here. I think it's backwards to think he'd have less opportunities to develop on the Lakers versus anywhere else. I think he'll get more burn here, more chances. You know what my problem is? I'll tell you what my problem is. There was something, actually, Woj had something on here that was basically saying it's unfair that a lot of people are saying that Bronny is getting a free pass because his dad is LeBron James. And what he's saying is the NBA is littered with that. And he was talking about coaches that got opportunities because of their dad, front office personnel that got opportunities because of their dad. And he just went on the list. And frankly, I don't think he's wrong. He's not wrong to make those points, but that doesn't mean it's okay. And it also doesn't mean that somebody else can't have an opinion of, all right, well, what do you want me to do here? They're using one of their picks on him. As far as the more opportunities to develop, I just don't know how good he is, guys. I mean, that's all I could tell you is that I don't know of anybody out there that was saying there is this rush to go get Bronny James. I think that tells you enough, right? Lakers yesterday with their number 17 pick, it seemed like the Lakers, maybe they got somebody. Maybe they got a player that Dalton Connect. Maybe they got a player that could really develop, and he's 23 years old, and maybe he could help the roster right now. That's not going to be the case with this pick, and maybe that just wasn't going to be the case with this pick anyways because of how late it was. Cyclones, dude had a heart attack and didn't join his team until late December. Plus, they already had a point guard who went in the first round this year playing ahead of him. I hope you're right, and I hope this dude becomes a player. But again, I'm going to say this: if teams really, really thought Bronny James was going to be a player in this league, they would have took him before the Lakers took him at 55. You know, I saw the Rich Paul stuff. Teams want talent; they don't care. I don't think any team would have cared that. What was the latest Rich Paul had? Rich Paul had something that was something along the lines of he's going to play in Australia if anybody drafts him before the Lakers do. Teams would take a chance on talent. Teams who really thought this player, maybe there was this just mutual respect. All right, he wants to play with his dad. Let's leave this thing alone. But I know that teams are typically in sports, in the NBA, these teams are cutthroat, whatever it takes to win. My job's on the line. If I could go get a talented player, I'm going to go grab that player. I hope he gets the right opportunities to show the type of player that he is. But he's also going to be on the Los Angeles Lakers, a franchise that already has so much attention. And he's also going to be playing with his pops. There's going to be a lot of attention on this team, and we'll see what happens with his development. But if anybody's going to have to roll up their sleeves and try to prove something, it's going to be Bronny James. That's it. He's the only one that's going to be able to say, guys, I know I was drafted because of my dad. I know I was taken to the Lakers because of my dad, but give me a couple years, and I could be a good role player in this league. Nobody's asking him to go be LeBron or an all-star, but I could be a player that contributes in this league, and that's going to be, obviously on him. We can get rookie free agents if we want. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of players that didn't get drafted that are going to start signing two ways. I already saw there was one I saw because it was a San Diego State kid. I've seen them before, and you're right. Yes, that's going to keep happening. All right, let me see some. Let me see a couple more of these comments here. Slee, I'm still hung up on Momo saying Patty Mills and Luis Scola were former 55th picks. We have to take swings to try to find these diamonds in the rough. Eddie, I'm going to tell you something. By the way, anyone throwing a super, I appreciate it. We got over 600 people right now on the live stream. Thank you for hanging out. I greatly appreciate that. Anyone with the comments, I'm going to try to get to as many as I can. And please subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. Closing in on 25,000 subscribers, so I'd greatly appreciate that. I think your message here is my exact point. Your message here is I saw some people saying, what the Boston Celtics, who had the number 54 pick, they should take Bronny at 54 just to stick it to the Lakers. You know what my response was to all those people who said that? Why would they do that? They got their own team to worry about. They're going to try to draft somebody at 54 that they feel like maybe becomes a Patty Mills, maybe becomes a Luis Scola, maybe becomes I know this one's extreme because he's incredible, but Manu Ginobili is 57. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to. Why would they get involved in this? What would be their purpose for it? They just won an NBA championship. They're going to be the favorites next year to win another NBA championship. And they're going to be in contention probably for the next at least 2 years, but who knows, maybe 2 to 4 years, something like that. Tatum is young. Jaylen Brown is young. they're definitely, I think, gonna. I don't know what Drew Holiday's numbers are. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think they're going to work on Derek White. The point that I'm trying to make is, why would the Celtics draft Bronny? What would be their reason for it? You know, the best way to stick it to somebody else, be better than them, not be petty, not try to, not try to worry about what they're doing. Worry about you, better yourself, and everything else will figure itself out. So to just kind of go off of this comment, I'm still hung up on Momo saying Patty Mills and Luis Scola. Before you just sent this to me, I didn't know. I named off other players. I didn't know those two players were at 55. So, all right, is what it is there. Let's get some more of these comments here. The hell are you guys doing at 4:50 on a Friday? Is everybody off of work already? We're just hanging out? Nobody's going to offer me a margarita? Nobody's going to offer me a beer and say, hey, Slee? Oh, that's right. It's a Thursday. The hell, I'm all over the place. I said Friday, and it's a Thursday. Yeah, it would be nice if somebody says, hey, Slee, here's a Corona. Go enjoy a beer. Let's get to some of these other comments. I do think there are some people, a little extreme here, but I do think there are some people that feel this way. Live in LA, no longer be a Laker fan. This is a joke. I'm not saying everybody's going to feel that way, but I do think there's people saying, what are we doing here? What's going on here? It was one of my banners up here that I put, how much of a distraction will this be to winning? If I had a foundation of what today's show is, this is my foundation. We about winning, or we about attention? Because I feel like right now, I feel like we're more about attention than the Los Angeles Lakers are to winning. That's how I feel. I don't want to feel that way. This franchise is has been one of the elite franchises in all of sports. We know what Dr. Jerry Buss built, and these next couple of weeks, I think, are going to, tell a lot. I think right now the Lakers are. I was talking about this morning. I think right now the Lakers are stuck in the middle, and the worst place you could be in sports is in the middle, because if the Lakers, for the most part, brought back the same team, injuries are going to happen because they happen to every team. LeBron and Anthony Davis probably not going to play 70-plus games. I don't think that's going to happen this upcoming year, because I'm just going to look at the average and what's happened in the past. The Western Conference is only getting better. At best, I think the Lakers just stay in the middle. That's if they don't make any moves, or they're not able to, use some of these draft picks and use some of their assets to go improve the roster. Well, if you stay in the middle and you're fighting for that 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere along those lines, you're not accomplishing you're putting yourself in a tough spot, because you're not good enough to compete, and you're also not bad enough to go get a lot better and go get some young kids and get some young players. So it's a weird position to be in. I think I'm overreacting to what just happened, but I think it's more, I think, a frustration of the position that the Lakers are in, and feeling like it's not getting any better. Okay, health is wealth. Bronny's probably the best athlete in the draft. Plus, he hits three at a high clip. He's a steal in the second round. I hope you're right. But I will tell you, if that's accurate, another team would have took him earlier. They wouldn't have cared about the Lakers, and he wants to play with LeBron James. If they saw some real talent, they'd have grabbed him earlier, if that was the case. OKC won the draft this year. Can I tell you something? I don't even know who the hell they picked, and you're probably right. Because that front office, the way they identify the talent, the way they crop their own talent, the way they develop their own talent, it's incredible. It's it's the San Antonio Spurs of, it's this generation San Antonio Spurs. Brian's got a great point here. Back-to-back in-season champs. They take that banner down yet? They should take that banner down when the season ends. Get that damn thing away from that real estate there's some real estate up there. In-season banner tournament there. All right, I'm behind on some of these comments. Let me try to catch up. OKC wins drafts, but not titles. True, up to this point. By the way, just quick heads up. So tomorrow, I'm going to do a video with Mark Medina, who covers the Lakers, covers the NBA. He's fantastic. Him and I are going to get together a little bit later tomorrow, and I'll post a video. I don't think we're going to do it live. I got a feeling we're just going to record it, and I'll probably post it around 8, 9 o'clock, something like that. So just a heads up, we'll get another video coming back. I am glad we got Bronny. Okay. It's funny. I put on Twitter once the news came out, and I was looking through it, and I probably should have done a better job of doing it. I asked people, how they feel about the trade. One of the comments was, "The world is truly upside down. The Knicks are making Jerry West type of moves, and the Lakers are making James Dolan type of moves." Probably a little extreme, but definitely don't want to see the two franchises mix that way. What was the other one? Somebody said, "I'm tired already." I think that's how I felt. I think I felt right out the gate. I'm like, my God, I'm going to be spending so much time talking about this and less talking about the Lakers team and how do you improve the roster. Okay, let me take a couple more comments, and then we're going to call it a day. And I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Bronny James, officially a Los Angeles Laker. I would say my pulse of what just some of the comments that I got, some of the feedback, I think you got a few people saying it's not that big of a deal, but I also think you got a pretty good amount of Laker fans that are saying, why did we do this? What's the purpose of doing this? And for those that are saying you kind of had to do it because if you didn't, who knows the decision LeBron James would have made with opting out of his contract. That's probably the best case that you can make. We kept Bronny happy. But haven't they already done so many different things to keep Bronny happy to keep LeBron happy? And to be honest with you, I call bluff on LeBron. I don't think he's going anywhere, and I don't think he was going anywhere from the beginning. So Lakers not taking any chances. They're going to accommodate to him in every possible way, and they've clearly done that. Here's my hope, Laker fans, is moving forward, we're having conversations about how the Lakers got better, not conversations about Bronny James and him being a Los Angeles Laker. So some key dates coming up here. Just want to give everybody a heads up as we kind of wrap up the show. Here are the key dates coming up for the Lakers. The next key date coming up is Saturday because that's the day LeBron James can make a decision on his contract. The next key date after that is going to be Monday, which is July 1st, and that's when free agency starts. So round one is done. We obviously know what the Lakers did and what they decided to do with their first two picks. They did not make any trades. They took Dalton Connect, and they took Bronny James, so there was no blockbuster trade. There was no Lakers are packaging 3 picks and getting rid of them. So on June 26th, Lakers used their first round pick. June 27th, Lakers used their second round pick for Bronny James. Saturday is going to be when LeBron James has to make or can officially make a decision. And then the other key date is going to be Monday, July 1st. What the hell Lakers going to do with this roster? What's going to happen to D'Angelo Russell? Are they able to make some moves? Things along those lines. There's going to be a lot of other things to answer from there. All right, let me get one more quick comment here, and then we're going to call it a day. My only nitpick, and I appreciate the super, with Bronny is his height. If the guy can play D and shoot the ball then sweet. But I'm concerned about how he'll do on the defensive side when teams exploit him as a mismatch. I'm going to say this again. It's probably going to get a little bit annoying. If teams thought there was a tremendous amount of upside, I think he would have been taken earlier. The fact that he fell to the Lakers, I think, tells you that most teams out there were, okay, that's okay if you go somewhere else. And that's exactly what happened. All right, Lake fans, I appreciate it. Bronny James, officially a Los Angeles Laker. Hope you guys have a great Thursday. Like I mentioned, tomorrow night, I'll be posting something with Mark Medina. Saturday, we'll be doing something if we get some news on what's going to happen with LeBron James. And then on Monday, back on radio, I'll have Lakers talk that night as well, and I'm looking forward to it. So thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel, and hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thanks, Lake fans.